Hey, Scott Russell, just thinking about the CBDC and where to invest. And I was talking on the phone with someone today in Canada, and quite intelligent person, and hence some intelligent conversation came up, and we were just talking about where to invest. And the subject of gold bullion and silver came up, and gold and silver is good, but it sparked another thought that, after the Second World War, the US government outlawed gold. They made everybody turn their gold in, and so it kind of sets you thinking, right? I mean, ultimately, I believe that will happen here, but globally. But because they are not going to allow people to function outside of their control. This CBDC is all about control. So anything that gives people freedom will ultimately be restricted. It's just buying time, and I think it's important that we buy time. So I was thinking, platinum is another good thing maybe. I don't know. I've not looked into it. I'm not telling you to buy platinum, but to diversify. This person's going to be buying things like Bitcoin, and I can't say Bitcoin's the answer, but it's all part of diversifying. And now, I personally don't think to buy into the markets is a good thing, because they're all owned by the same people that own and pull the strings to the financial systems of the world. They are going to use all of that to bring about CBDCs. Now, ultimately, it'll be just like COVID, I think. People will have the opportunity to have what would resemble a normal life, but you will lose your freedom. It's like saying if you take the jab, you can go about normal life. If you don't, we're going to make your life hell. And we're going to be faced with the same sort of thing. They'll bring in the CBDC. I think the majority of the population will be, I'll take CBDC. No, what's the big deal? I mean, I'm getting comments on my posts where people are like, what's the big deal with the CBDC? I'm like, yeah, you obviously haven't looked into it. So a lot of the general population will just jump at it, but I think we will see a remnant, people who are saying, no, I will not give my freedom up for this. And I can see where this is leading. And I think ultimately, the thought came up in our conversation, how some people think that this is going to be a progression, that they'll bring in the CBDC, whereas I think it'll be with a bang. And the reason I think it'll be with a bang is because, especially in the US, they have to break the US to get the rest of the world. And that all guns are aimed at the US with the CBDC. And I believe this year, 2023, we will see the collapse of the US currency. They have to before the presidential election of 2024, because the last thing the globalists want is probably a nationalist like Trump to get back in. It'll stall their plans. And in the chaos, they want to present someone they think is, this guy's a great answer, he's the one you want. Or this girl, or probably be some trans person that these liberals will present. But I think it's not going to come in gradually, because the US population would never tolerate it. You think about it. If we all knew that they were working towards a CBDC, I mean, they already are. You've got pilot programs in place in the US. But if they were making it more public what they were doing, they were going through the progression of this, it's time then people would have the time to organize resistance. People don't like change, especially in the US. I ran meetings in the US in one city and one town in Boston, in Saugus, and I moved across to Melrose, which is the next town over. Literally borders each other. And, I had probably 50 people that were coming to that meeting at the time, and maybe 20 came across. And I remember saying to them, well, why isn't people coming across? Oh, that's Melrose. We don't go to Melrose. So America generally is very localized in their thinking, and they will use that against you. So I believe in the US, the way they will do it, it will be the crash, and then allowing chaos, allowing people to have uncertainty and fear and just pandemonium, like we're seeing in France, that the mainstream media is not covering. And I got kicked off TikTok for covering. So they're trying to keep all this hidden. But what they'll do is in the chaos of the US, the Antifas and things that'll just be going crazy and putting fear into people. People want normal. and they will present a CBDC that is normal. So I don't believe they can do it gradually. It will be a bang, and there it is. Gradually, then they will go after things like gold. After that, they'll say, all right, we need to get gold. We need to get Bitcoin. I think ultimately they'll go after Bitcoin. They'll limit all these things because, again, they don't want an economy outside of their economy and control, because this is all about control. Think about it. If you had the power to control the world like these men do, with the financial systems of the world, they pull the strings to it. They don't want a whole culture of people that are trading in gold unless they are able to get their fingers in it, because then you don't have to listen to them. You don't have to be controlled by them. You're a threat to their authority. So you got to fly under the radar. I don't believe there is any final answer as far as, gee, I can invest in gold or silver, golf balls, whatever it is. No, you've got to diversify, because different things will be gone after at different times. And I believe go with what is God. I believe I'm going to call it your intuition. As you know, you'll see our videos with Melissa where we talk about that. But allow your intuition, your gut. Don't invest in fear. Don't react in fear. Don't act in fear. Don't react, act. But act out of peace. Act out of what you feel inside of you, because you know how to hear God. I call that the God voice. You've all of us have had different variations of that. You felt don't go up that road, and you didn't, and you found out later, wow, I'm so glad I didn't go up there. Some guy got mugged. Whatever. Go with that. When I tell the story of a man I knew in Boston who, before the subprime meltdown, where things were booming, he was into commercial and residential real estate, doing really well at it. He woke up one night, just felt he was supposed to sell it all. And so he did, and people were saying, you're crazy, what are you doing? You're an idiot, you're going to lose money. He sold all these properties, and bam, the subprime hit. Bottom fell out of the market. He had all of his money. He bought low and did well, because he went with what he knew was right inside of him. Don't look for everybody else's answer. Don't look for everybody else telling you what they think you should be doing. Trust yourself. Trust that intuition, which I know to be God. Talk to God in your way. Just say, God, show me. Let me have a peace. What's the right way to go? And follow the peace. Follow the peace. The confusion comes when we follow everybody else's good ideas. But let's be realistic here. Nobody's seen what we're about to see in this world. So who can be an expert? We're all winging it here. We're all winging it together, going with, I talk out of what I feel is my God voice, my intuition that's inside of me. And some people resonate with it, some don't. I'm not interested in trying to talk anybody into it. It's just a case of going with what you feel. So keep being ready. Currency's about to go. The last place you want is cash right now. If you have significant amounts of money in cash, do something about it. Do something about it now. Because think about it, they're not going to give you warning we're going to crash the currency. You're going to go to bed one night, you're going to wake up tomorrow, and boom, it's gone. And the banks are locked out. You can't get your money. That's what they do. They've done it in Brazil when they switched the Cruzeiro to the Real. They went to bed one night, they woke up the next morning, their money's gone. That will happen. They can't give warning. So don't think everything's normal. They are lying to you. They are presenting normal. We are going to wake up one morning and the US currency is going to have collapsed. And hence, globally, it'll spread around the world. Be ready. As they're preparing, we should be preparing. God bless you. Stay safe, stay strong. We've got some heck of a journey ahead of us, but we win. We can win in ourselves. We've already won in ourselves when our peace is coming from the divine. God bless.